something truly special might happen in VCT Americas. Loud and Cloud9 have locked in their spots in playoffs, while Crew have already been eliminated. But all 7 other teams are still fighting for their spots, with no one more than 2 games behind. That means there are multiple worlds where some good teams don't make it through, and many others where some not so good teams do. These scenarios are all interesting to look at for whichever team you're invested in. But if you don't have any interest in these teams, allow me to offer you something to root for. Despite the pain that it has brought me in the past, I can't help but love tiebreakers, especially as they get deeper and more convoluted. Which is why I found a scenario that explores the depths of Valorant's tiebreaker rules, where all 7 of these teams finish with a 4-5 record. Yes, this is extremely unlikely, but that's not the point of playoff scenarios. I don't care if a team has to win 13-0 on every map to even have a chance. All that matters is that it's possible. In Week 7, we're going to need 100 Thieves to upset Furia. As a 100 Thieves fan, I have to believe in them. It's part of my contract. Then we have to follow it up with an even bigger upset of MIBR over EG, striking a dagger through the hearts of all 10 of EG's fans. The rest of Week 7 then has to go to the favorites. Week 8 starts with another upset, with Furia losing to the roster mania of Sentinels. Then EG have to rise from the ashes of their loss to MIBR and somehow beat NRG. Loud and Cloud9 have to win as they always do. Then the season ends with MIBR breaking my own heart and beating 100 Thieves. This would place everyone from 3rd place down to 9th place at a 4-5 record. All 7 teams have a 3-3 record against each other, so we can skip the head-to-head and go straight to map differential. NRG and Leviathan have a pretty strong advantage here. Leviathan is guaranteed to get at least 3rd or 4th. NRG could still beat Leviathan for 3rd, but they could also tie with Furia, EG, and Sentinels, which puts them at risk of falling to 7th. But there's another interesting tie hidden in here. If MIBR want a chance to make it in this scenario at all, they have to beat EG and 100 Thieves by a map score of 2-0. Then 100 Thieves need to beat Furia 2-0 as well. Then everyone else has to get their worst result. One problem, Furia and Sentinels play each other. For Sen to get their worst result, they have to beat Furia 2-1. But for Furia to get their worst result, they have to lose to Sentinels 2-0. Both of these things cannot happen. Trust me, I checked. If Furia win at least a map against Sentinels, they take the 5th seed. Then we go back to head-to-head. Sentinels and MIBR beat 100 Thieves in EG. Then Sentinels beat MIBR on head-to-head and take the 6th seed. Cool, but not really what I'm looking for. If Sentinels take the match 2-0, they get the 5th seed. Then EG is left as the only team that loses the head-to-head, slotting them at 9th. That leaves Furia, 100 Thieves, and MIBR to fight for the 6th seed through round differential, which I will call Delta for short. Furia have a sizable lead, but 100 Thieves have a chance at recovering, especially since they will have to beat Furia in this scenario. The scenario only features 2-0 series from these teams, so no need to worry about 3rd maps. Obviously, in the most extreme scenarios, MIBR can take the win. We just aren't going to see that many 13-0s. It's too unlikely, even for me. What's more reasonable, though still unlikely, is for these teams to meet in the middle. If MIBR gets some dominant wins, they can get their delta up to -32. But here we have another issue. To get past 100 Thieves, their match against Furia would hopefully be fairly close. 2 13-11s is fairly reasonable for this match anyway. But if that is the case, then Furia's delta will only go down by 4. For them to fall below MIBR, they would have to lose 13-0 to Sentinels on both maps. This is a constant wedge for MIBR in this scenario. If Furia make it close against 100 Thieves, they have to get dumpstered by Sentinels. If 100 Thieves take a dominant win, MIBR have to respond with even more dominant wins of their own. This seems like way too much to expect from MIBR, but that's just how I feel. So let's look at some numbers. In maps that they win, Furia and 100 Thieves average about 4 rounds more than their opponent. In maps that they lose, they average about 5 rounds less than their opponent. Across MIBR's 5 map wins, 4 were won by 2 rounds, and 1 was won by 3. And in their 12 map losses, they've lost by an average of over 6 rounds. Also, it was just announced that their best player, Heat, will not be playing these next 2 weeks. I really wish I could say that the 7-way tiebreaker was realistic, but the chances for it are not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance?